Hey folks, welcome back to the Play School. It's me Phil again with another piano tutorial. So today we're going to tackle the Beatles' most recent and I would imagine last contribution. It's Now and Then. Now this is a great track, fairly simple chords wise. There's some nice little touches and a couple of interesting chords to keep us interested. So as always, what I'm going to do is deal with all the chords, basic rhythm and structure, and then at the end, a couple of little touches to make it really sound like that record. So let's do it. So this piece is in the key of A minor, which officially is all the white notes. You will often find in A minor that instead of an E minor chord, we use an E major chord. Sharpening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's sharpening the 7th note of that minor scale to make what we call a harmonic minor. All that by the by, let's start with our intro chords. So the intro starts with some very static piano playing. We're simply going to start with A minor. So A minor, A, skip B, play C, skip D, play E. And we're actually going to play it with the C on top. So we're going to take the E, we're going to invert it. We're going to take the E from the top and put it on the bottom. And there is our first chord. Now on the recording, this is like we've got one piano chord, 3, 4, and then we go to the next one. And there's a guitar kind of going ding, ding, ding with an 8th note, 1 and 2. So I would maybe, if I was playing this on my own, might play like something like that, just to give it a slight bit more rhythm. Or you could play it very dramatically, start here, and then go to your second chord, which is a G6. Now, let's start with our G chord. G, skip A, play B, skip C, play D. At the moment, what with G and A being adjacent, doesn't share any notes. So we've got A minor here, down to G. Now, for a 6 chord, with all of the numbers except 7, all we want to do is count the scale of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and find that note and add it to our chord. There we go, and that gives us our G6. Now this D, which we're calling the 5 note, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this applies again to all chords. The 5 note is often quite an optional note for the chord. It doesn't change the harmony if we leave that out. So it's all down to listening to what we're trying to do and deciding, do we want to play it? Now for me, because I think what we're really trying to do is bring out this note up to that note. There isn't a melody here, but if there was, that would be it. And so I think it's better not to play the D. We're going to go 2, 4, 2, 3, and then again. 2, 3, 4. That is going to give you your intro. Now, so our verse has got a little bit of jazz, which I want to deal with at the end. So I'm just going to give you kind of the chord positions and a good rhythm to use. And then if you so desire, you can keep on listening at the end and you'll get a little bit of extra stuff. But for now, let's start with our A minor. We're actually going to play it in root position for the beginning of the verse, okay? Down to G6 again. Now from here, A minor and G don't share any notes, but A minor and G6 do, because they've got this E, right? So we've just got, we're just going to expand our bottom 2 fingers away from the E to pick up A, C, E, and then G, B, E. Yeah. Now again, I would start with a rhythm of, it's true. It's all because of you. Yeah, that is this very simple one hand taking the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other one just picking up the changes. Okay, so we've got A to G6, sorry, A minor to G6, A minor to G6, then back to A minor. Now we want an F major 7. F chord, F, skip G, play A, skip B, play C. There's your F chord. And what I want to do, the one reason I mentioned the 7s being different is because if it just says 7, we cannot just count up the scale. Okay, but if it says F major 7, then that's exactly what we do, right? F, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, traveling up that F scale, which gives us this E. It means every single chord has now got this E in it. Our F major 7, F, A, C, E, still there, right? So, add this little E and E7. So when we take the E that comes next, we will actually just drop this chord down into root position. E, there's that G sharp I talked about, G sharp, B. And we want to kind of flirt briefly with E7, okay? So let's talk about 7s. E, G sharp, B, E. That 4 notes E7, E chord. To find the 7, many of you will have heard me say before, we can just take this E, or any E that's in this chord, and drop it down by 1 half step, 2 half steps, to get from an E to a D. It's a whole step away. Okay, the major 7 is a half step away, and the 7 is a whole step away, okay? So we've got 2, 3, 4, there is your E7 to, sorry, E to E7 change. That's in the chords at the bottom of verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going back to A minor to finish this verse off, but we're going to go via a slightly strange chord at this point. It's A sus4. Now, let's take our A chord, and the 4 is a true 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we've got that chord, right? But the difference with sus4 chords, I'm not going to go into why right now, but with sus4 and sus2, we actually remove the middle note, right? So instead of adding the 4, we swap it for the 3. 1, 2, 3 goes to 4. And it gives us this chord. It's a really interesting move, this, to go to resolve from the sus4 back to that 1 chord. But it's what the Beatles do, right? So, just to recap, we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. And to get to our A sus4, we're going to keep in mind that we've just used that D with our pinky, and we're going to go back to it, and we've got E, A, D. Now, again, normally this sus4 would resolve directly down to there, but actually in this piece we've got, so we're going to resolve to there, which of course will put us back in the correct position to start the verse again for verse 2. So let's try that whole verse. Right. I know, it's a bit high. I know it's true. It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all because of you. Now, as we go into verse 2, I might expand into my favourite rhythm, which is where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, It's a really effective rhythm for keeping a piano rhythm going, especially in guitar-y songs. It's kind of like strumming, jinga, jinga, jing. And the way it works is both right, left, right, left, right, both right, left, right, left. So that you get that original bass note on the 1 on the change usually, or often, and it also just kind of fills in as like an upstroke it would be on the guitar. Okay, so into verse 2, that's what I would do. And now and then, if we must start again, well, we will know for sure. got a little run up. Okay, now on the music, this is listed as E, and then A over E, sorry, A minor over E, and then A minor over E, and then E7. Now, what we're really looking to hear is this. So maybe rather than thinking about those chords specifically as written, maybe just follow these top two notes as they both walk up the scale to their next destination. And then you hear. Right? So let me try to show you the end of that verse 2 again. Right, so our chorus is pretty simple. We finished here, A, C, E, A minor. We're going to just drop directly down onto our G chord. Sometimes I wouldn't recommend doing that, but here, we're really looking to feel that step down to change the mood of the piece. So we're going to go down to G, G, B, D, 2 measures. And we're going to go to our B minor. B minor is B, D, and F sharp. It doesn't exist in the key of A minor, but it does in the key of G. We're almost like switching briefly to G for this passage. So we're going to go to B minor, B, D, F sharp. Now, hopefully, some of you have spotted that G, B, D, and B, D, F sharp share the B and the D. So let's not move those. Let's go to here. All you need to do is just drop that thumb down from the G to the F sharp. Next chord is E minor. For E minor, we want E, skip F sharp, play G, or skip F, play G in the right key, skip A, play B. Right, and we're on B minor, B, D, and F sharp. For this one, we're going to use this pivot move, which is easy, a really common and convenient move, is where we just keep this middle one in the middle and we shift our outside fingers up one note. So we go from there, F sharp, B, D, to G, B, E, okay. And then we're coming to A minor, our root chord, and a 1 chord for the piece. And we've got our pinky on the E, look. So we can just pull our hand into that evenly spaced position. And then we're going to stretch up to a D. This is D major, so A minor up to D. We want D, F sharp, and A. For our D major chord, we're going to keep the A. Again, this is an expand away move, one of the 3 kind of big moves that I often talk about. Okay, so let me take you through that whole chorus. Okay, so after we've done our first 2 verses and a chorus and a verse 3 and a chorus, we're then into the guitar solo, and this is great. It's so typical Beatles. We've finished on a D chord, right? Probably worth mentioning at this point. It's in the structure as well. But that second chorus is shortened. It doesn't have the second A minor to D. Okay, so you'll just go so. D major to D minor chord sounds amazing. So we've got D major, to change a major to a minor, all we need to do is take the middle note and drop it by a half step. But we have to remember that it's the middle note in root position. So D, F sharp, A, the middle note is the F sharp. That comes down to there, our lovely D minor chord. For us, our F sharp, our our middle note is at the top. So we still need to drop that one down, right? And then we've got 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then down to our C major chord. Again, we'll just step that down. Because these are all about these big, bold, descending chord passages, right? You might have noticed I've started to play my left hand kind of doubled there. You can throw that in whenever. Just a quick note about how this rhythm pattern works if you're using 2 parts in your left hand. I like to think about the pinky of your left hand as being the bass guitar, right? And your right thumb, your thumb on your left hand is kind of part of the right hand part, right? So we end up with, let's talk about 1, 2, 3. We've got all 3. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. So we've got that same pattern, it's just we're adding like a big pinky note at the beginning of every measure on the 1, and the rest of it's being taken care of by these 2 hands, right? So that's D minor twice, D minor, C, easy change. Back up to your D minor twice. Back down to your C. And then from our C, we've got an E minor. Okay, so we've played E minor, haven't we? Yeah. So E minor, before, yeah, we played it here. E, G, B. We're here. E, G, C. Right, so this is a lovely change. All you're going to do is move your middle finger from a C to a B. This we've also done up to A minor, keep your pinky. And this one we've also done up to D. 3, 4, 1. We've done this one as well, D to D minor. 2, 3, 4. And the last change, which is a very clever change because it's kind of going to be a perfect cadence in C, but it actually ends up being an interrupted cadence, is we go up to the G. So we've got pinky, we're going to pivot around this D again, and we need G, B, D, and that is you back into your verse. Okay, so let me take you through the chords of that whole guitar solo. They're fairly simple, but just watch me for the changes, okay? We're going to go. Ever to E minor, it's just that middle finger. So contract, move to A minor. 2, 3, 4, 1. Expand away and up to the F sharp. 4, 1, 2. Bring the F sharp down to D minor, and then pivot to G. Okay, so nothing really interesting to report in the structure here. Got intro, verse 1, verse 2 and a chorus. Then we go straight into verse 3. Then we have that shortened chorus. So verse 3 and verse 4 are the same as verse 2 in that they have that little run up, which is a walk up maybe, which is not there in verse 1. So then we hit verse 3, which is the same as verse 2. Then we have that shortened chorus, which takes us into our guitar solo. Then we have verse 4, and straight out of verse 4 we go into the outro. Now you'll see on the music that the A minor at the beginning of the outro is in parenthesis, in brackets. That is because after we do where you would finish, that actually becomes the first measure of the outro, where we're going to go A minor, 2, 3, 4. It's a 3-measure phrase, right, which makes it sound a bit weird. So this is the E7 chord. I guess for this bit, let's not take it here, because we've done there, we've done there, and we're going to keep the E, which means to get our E chord, all that needs to happen is the G goes up to a G sharp, and because we're here, I wouldn't swap the E for the D, I would add it. So once more round, 1, 2, expand away for G6. 7, 2, 3, 4. Now, the very last bit of this piece is we're going to a quick 3, I think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, there's some melody that goes with this as well, which I'm going to teach you in the extra jazz. But for now, we're just going to learn those chords in the correct position. So after we've done 1, 2, 3, we've got A minor, sus 4, G6, F minor 6, E, and then A minor. So that was A sus 4, G6. All chords we've played before, F minor 7, and then we'll take this E in root position for now. Actually, what we can do, just to get us on the right page for this outro, is go there, A minor, expand away for G6, full F major 7 chord, and we're just going to miss, you know I said earlier on that 5 note is optional, we're going to skip it for this one, and then we're going to take our A minor there, nice and low, giving us this lovely G sharp to A minor, that's A, C, E, and that's the end. Let me take you through that whole outro with just the chords, okay? So we've just done... Right, so for these verse licks, which are really going to make this piece sound like the record, the piano part just picks out this do 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 do. Okay, so what we want to do is find our fingers in those positions, and we're going to go. So what I've done there. Just lay out your hands across the piano. And then D, E, D. Right, and that's your melody that we're trying to add in. Now we want to keep the rhythm going until that happens again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that is just again separating this into like 3 parts: bass line, middle part and the top part, and we're going to go 1, 2, again. Right. And then same for the F major 7. But instead of A, D, A, B, we've got A, D, A, C. Yeah. there's your middle note, and there's your top chord. So top, middle, bottom. And you can keep that rhythm going if you want. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, give those a go. Now, lastly, very quickly for our outro, we have done so we want that is our melody, right? What we need to do is make our chords happen underneath that melody. Same as we started. That is your A sus4. Yeah. Now we're going down to our B. So we need the rest of our G6 chord. It's going to look like that. Our F major 7, always going back to that E. That's quite a long way away. And there is that last chord that we learned when we were doing the original bit, finishing here. Again, so you'll go. Oops. And that is how you play it. Have fun with that. Any questions, please put them in the comments below. Enjoy. I'll see you next time.